Hey guys, it's 2 days after Christmas here. It's been a while since I've given you any kind of content here. Had a kid and just been busy, but got a nice project here. I have to fix this car or I'm gonna lose the shop or my job or something like that. So basically what I got going on here is, why can't I flip this fucking thing once it's running? Basically what I got going on here is my WRX is just leaking oil badly. It's leaking from one of the valve covers. When I put this, I bought this car and I bought it right before all the COVID lockdowns happened, and I put it together during COVID, like the original 4-week shutdown or whatever it was supposed to be. And anyway, I bought the car. It had been sitting for 2 or 3 years. It had a blown up motor in it, blown up, JDM 205 that apparently had just been put in and blown up immediately. I had a 255 that I swapped into it. It's a 2.5 instead of a 2-liter for the people that don't give a shit about Subarus. But I put that in, got it running. Car ran pretty good. It had an STI turbo. I took off one of my buddy's cars, STI injectors. And anyway, the center diff in the 5-speed happened to be blown up too. I don't know if it was blown up when they blew the motor up or if someone flat towed it to the guy that I bought it from or what. But that was blown up, so I threw a center diff in it. But in addition to the oil leaks that this thing has, it uses a lot of oil. Cranking compression is good, but the turbo was shot off my buddy's car. I rebuilt the turbo. It went way down, the oil consumption. Or I shouldn't say the oil consumption went way down, but the car stopped smoking so badly. So it doesn't smoke noticeably anymore, but it uses a quart like every 300 or 400 miles. But the motor's got real good cranking compression. So I think maybe the turbo still leaking some oil, maybe valve stem seals. Anyway, I got to reseal the valve cover gaskets on this motor. I have this cam seal is leaking really bad. That's the problem now. It's dripping down out of the bottom of the timing covers and onto the exhaust and smoking a lot. So I haven't driven the car much for the last 6 or 8 weeks. It's probably only got like 4,000 miles on it since I put it together over the last 2 years. But I used like a cheap seal kit that in the past when I've used them, the valve cover gaskets never seal. And I had that problem again. This time I was just like, oh, well, I'll just Honda bond them to the head and it should be fine. But no, valve cover leaks. And to be honest with you, when I put in this cam seal, it drove in kind of fucked up. I thought it might be an issue. It was all right for a while, but it's an issue now. So what I'm actually going to do is this tranny, even though I changed the center diff, it grinds downshifting into first, and it just does some things that aren't super smooth. I have another good tranny. I have some of those more performance blast plates. I'm going to throw those on this other tranny, put the other tranny in here. This is an early car, so it's got the male stub style, like the 0203 transmission, so I have to change the front axles too. But anyway, going to change the tranny, fix these oil leaks. I'm actually going to do valve stem seals on this motor. And I have another turbo for it too. I have an FP HTA 71, which is like, I guess it's a TDO. I don't remember if it's a TDO5 or TDO6 hot side, but it's like, an 18G, big 18G or a 20G size turbo, maybe a small 20G. But it this thing should make like 350 wheel on pump gas, and I got a meth kit for it too. It might get close to 380, 390 on the meth. Plenty to blow that 5-speed up. So I'm going to throw those blast plates on that I had picked up. And yeah, but anyway, so that's what I'm doing this week. And so the deal is it's Tuesday, December 27th. I got to go back to work next Tuesday, January 3rd. So I got to do this all in a week. My parts are supposed to start arriving today, tomorrow, Thursday. Last ones are supposed to show up Thursday. I could have this motor out in 2 hours or less. But I got to do some cleanup here. Need to make some space in my garage. Got tons of leftover Christmas boxes. And the interior from this Trans Am, I haven't told you what's going on with the Trans Am in a while. But anyway, Trans Am's running. I had mentioned about this car a few times. It stinks. It smelled like a shed. It smelled like really bad mildew. When I got the car, it was like unbearable. It'd give you a headache. So I stripped the interior. Someone had replaced the front seats with cloth seats. I got another set of cloth seats. The other thing, and I really don't like this about this car, I keep going back and forth between loving and hating this car, because when I bought it, it was just supposed to be a cheap, I'll put a Turbo LS in it, and plans kind of changed because of what I found in the car, and you can see those floor pans are in great shape. The car's in nice shape. A mouse had gotten in here, and I hate rodents. They just gross me out. I could deal with a lot of stuff. Rodents aren't one of them. It looked like it was probably just one mouse. It was just like, you know, I didn't really realize till I got the car home, so obviously it wasn't bad. But yeah, I wound up taking everything out of it. I changed the heater box and, you know, douched out the cowl to try to eliminate the mildew smell. There wasn't a rodent smell, but I know it was in there. It had made a nest in one of those seats that I threw out, one of those front seats. It just kind of grossed me out. So all the interior stuff, like the carpet, I hosed down with disinfectant multiple times and pressure washed it, and none of that stuff smells anymore. Actually, I cut the firewall padding out because that was kind of retaining some of that mildew smell. So anyway, the car finally seems smell-free. I did find the mouse. It was in that fucking door, dead, you know, just a skeleton. Maybe I'll link a picture in here, but anyway, this car is inoperable because the harness is all disconnected and the datch is out. So before I start on this WRX, I got to get this dash back in, and I'm going to throw the carpet in to get it out of my way and get the car running. So that's going to eat up a couple hours of my morning here. It's a little bit before 11. But that's going to eat up some time. Hopefully I could have this thing running again in like 2 hours. And yeah, I just need to be able to move this car around because I can't have two inoperable cars here blocking my garage. And yeah, so I'm going to throw this back together and I'll give you a cold start video when I'm done. So I've screwed around, cleaned up all the cardboard. It's almost noon already, of course. Did a little bit more cleaning up in here, and to be honest with you, I've been dreading putting this dashboard back in, mostly because when I took it out, I was rammy, didn't pay attention, broke a bunch of plastic shit, did it not the way that I should. I was just in a rush, and I got to get this wiring harness back on there, and I've never really messed with these 4th Gen F bodies before, so I don't know exactly off the top of my head how it's supposed to go, so I know I got to figure it out. It's not a big deal. I've just been procrastinating on it, but I guess here goes nothing. No big deal, right? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? The wires just hang in there. Who cares? Well, it's about 6 o'clock, and Subaru's not even in the garage. Not really surprising, but putting the Trans Am bag together wound up taking up pretty much my whole day. Sometimes that's the way it goes, but I am happy with the progress that I made. Put stuff back together clean the way I wanted it. Kind of starting to look like a car again with my new used seats and the carpet back in it. Some miscellaneous trim that still needs to go on in here, but back together, running. Run strong too. I'm excited to take this car to the track and just, you know, put it in drive and run 12. So yeah, but no Subaru progress until tomorrow. At least I'll be ready to go, but yeah, gotta go figure out dinner with the wife and stuff, but little closer on the Trans Am. My stuff didn't show up today anyway, the parts that were coming. The last of the parts don't show up till Thursday, so realistically, tomorrow's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's the day I'd be able to have everything back together if I'm waiting for parts anyway, and 3 days should be plenty to do this, so yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.